The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Positivity from the national media about the Jets. Dan Orlovsky is buying in. We'll play you what he said, and we will react accordingly. Matt O'Leary is going to join me. It's the Jake Asman Show on the second day in July. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show, live on a Thursday. Yesterday, I spoke at a sports media conference, so a big thank you to Connor Long, who did a great job filling in, giving you guys a show yesterday morning. Before we bring on our esteemed guest, Matt O'Leary, I want to remind everyone that we are presented by PrizePicks, and I want to tell everyone that tickets are still available for our first ever Gangrene Beach Club, which is coming up in just over a week, Saturday, July 11th. Come out and meet Wayne Corbett, among our esteemed guests that are going to be hanging out at HQ2, located on the property of the Ocean Casino in AC. Again, to get your tickets, they're just $25. You go over to the website, gangrenebeachclub.com. Wayne's going to be there. Fireman Ed's going to be there. Every person on the Jets beat is going to be there. And some of your favorite YouTubers are going to be there, like the guy who joins us right now in his weekly spot, Matt O'Leary, his channel, Matt O'Leary NY. Matt, happy Thursday. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pumped up for the Gangrene Beach event, and Mr. O'Leary might be making an appearance. Once he heard Wayne Corbett was going to be there, that's his all-time favorite Jet. So,
wow.
Not officially confirmed, but there is a chance that Papa O'Leary makes the trip down to AC too.
That is outstanding. Hopefully he can make it. He'll be a big star. Is your dad willing to sign autographs to the people?
Oh, of course. He'll be taking just as many pictures with everybody else. It'll be great.
I love it. That's awesome. So big shout out to everyone who's tuned in. A little programming note, only one live show today on my YouTube channel. We'll be live with the Jets Collective this afternoon at 1 Eastern. So if you're seeking more Jets content, tune in to our show later today. Matt, I'm going to start with some sound from ESPN's Dan Orlovsky, who recently was on NFL Live and was talking about the Jets' future. And here's Orlovsky talking about the Jets' future going forward. He's buying in.
I think the franchise was thinking about the future 2027 quarterback last week.
Yeah.
I don't think they're just starting now. I don't know when was the last time that there was this real hope in New York. I think that if we span the 32 organizations in the NFL, there's about as much hope for the future in New York as there is anywhere. If we just fast forward to this time next year, the Jets will be sitting on $150 million in cap space and 3 first-round picks. That's a very enticing place to go to for a young quarterback. And mind you, you see the names of a Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr. there. Mina just mentioned Mason Taylor, obviously Garrett Wilson. This is a young and talented offensive line as well. And so, like, if you're a quarterback and historically don't go to the Jets, I would argue that right now and in the future, the Jets are a place that a young quarterback, as long as Frank Reich proves that he.
So the end, the way it was cut, we didn't get the end part there, but context clues. He's saying as long as Frank Reich is not completely shot, this team has a nice infrastructure for a young quarterback. I agree with the premise. The first thing that stood out to me, though, is when he says, when was the last time there was real hope? I think Jets had real hope when they acquired Aaron Rodgers coming off a 7-win season where they were 6-3 and 7-4. I even think there was hope going into 24 when we thought they improved the roster and Rodgers was coming back from the injury before obviously they get off to the 2-3 start. Saleh's fired and then they spiral out of control. So I think we've had hope before during this playoff drought, but I do think there is some real hope once again, assuming we get the 2027 and the 3 first-round picks are there, the cap space remains, and some of these young players we feel good about show enough this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I think the hope is just maybe a little bit different, right? Because I agree, there obviously was a lot of hope when Aaron Rodgers was brought in for both the 23 and 24 season. But there were a lot of veteran players, especially on that 2024 team, right? Like they went out and they got Hassan Reddick, and we know that didn't go well, but Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses comes back, and they were a team that was clearly putting their chips on the table and trying to go for it with a veteran presence. And this time around, we're all excited about the young guys. And, there were still young players on that team, and Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and so on. But I think what would be really exciting, or has the potential to be exciting in 2027, is they have a nice young core now. They need to find a young quarterback. We all know that, but they have 3 first-round picks in order to do that. And who knows, maybe they added another couple nice pieces, early in the draft to go along with a quarterback next year too. So I think it's really the youth movement that is so exciting for the future of this team.
I think what's frustrating for some is that we're already talking about 2027. It's like we still have an entire 2026 season to get through before we could have this hope again where we're kings of the offseason, all the cap space, all the picks, maybe a coach search before any of that. Like it's tough to buy in the now for 2026, but I do see like whatever the expression is, the forest or the trees to the forest or forest to the trees. I don't even know what it is, but like I do see like the light at the end of the tunnel potentially if Darren Muji's actually the right guy to make these critical decisions.
Yeah, and like I think that's what 2026 is about, and it's not as exciting as what the potential for 2027 is, but I think you're trying to, at least for me, who on this team is true building block pieces. Like you have some young, exciting rookies. What does David Bailey look like in his first year? How about Omar Cooper and Kenyon Sadiq? Is their offensive coordinator shot, or is he good and he's going to be here next year and be tasked with developing a first-round quarterback next season? Can they get improvement on the defense? They were a 3-win team last year. They were absolutely terrible. And, I think if they are another 3 or 4-win team this year, that would be extremely disappointing. And I think there would be, some much more red flags going into the 2027 season. But, can we see them maybe have a surprise year, win 8 games this year, and then we're feeling even more excited going into the 27 season?
Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Matt O'Leary is my guest. The link to call into the show is pinned on the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline. Giveaway today. I'm in a giving mood, so we have plenty of options. If you want a Knicks NBA Finals patch, Jalen Brunson, or any of the Knicks starters jerseys, that is on the table. Or if you want to get a Jet jersey ahead of the season, any Jet legend of your choice, Namath, Klecko, Martin, Krebet, Revis, Mangold, Keyshawn, you could pick any of those as well. Gift a membership, send in a super chat or a Venmo to qualify for the Asmaniac raffle. And again, we have July 4th weekend coming up, so we're going to push the raffle to early next week for the weekly. But here are the top prizes in the Asmaniac weekly raffle for anyone who enters. It is a signed Broadway Joe football, signed Joe Klecko helmet, signed Wayne Krebet football, a Jets Legends jersey, and 2 tickets to Gang Green Beach Club coming up on July 11th. When you look at what the Jets can accomplish this upcoming season, Matt, you said something interesting. Who is a part of the long-term future on this team? Do you feel like by the end of this year, if we're not mentioning basically all 4 of the players that they took in the top 50, something went wrong with what we thought this year was going to be?
Yeah, I do, right? Like, and I don't need David Bailey to go out and have like 15 sacks in year 1, right? Like, I just think it's about seeing flashes of what these guys could be. And look, you got to understand, not everyone comes into the NFL and is Sauce Gardner right away, where he has, an all-pro season and wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, right? Like, just show us signs of why you were the second overall pick, why you went in the first round with Omar Cooper, Kenyon Sadiq, or why you were a top 50 pick in D'Angelo Pons. If those guys come out of the gate and really struggle, one, it's not going to be good for the 2026 Jets and just the win-loss record, because I think they're counting on a lot of these young players. But, not even just the drafted guys, A.D. Mitchell too. He's had a lot of hype this offseason. And, what version are we going to get of him in the regular season? Is this hype real that we've seen in OTAs and minicamp? Is he going to go prove himself as a wide receiver too? Or is it going to fade and he has another, 300 receiving yards this year? I think those are the questions you kind of need to have answered and see what you actually need to add to this team in 2027, in addition to a young franchise quarterback.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. David Bailey, I think, is fascinating because so many people are going to be comparing him to what Arvell Reese does. His number at PrizePicks, as I've talked about, is set at like 6.5 for sacks. Myles Garrett only had 7 as a rookie. So to me, it's not even like the sack number. It's like the impact presence when it comes to evaluating what Bailey is as the number 2 pick.
Yeah, definitely. And I think he's a player that you want to see improve as the year goes on. Like, it wouldn't be the most surprising thing if he starts slow and then turns it on in the second half of the year. That's kind of what happened with Abdul Carter. He didn't for the Giants, obviously a very high drafted pick last year, and didn't have super crazy flashy numbers. But if you dig a little deeper, look at the pressure numbers, look at how he improved as the year went on. I think that's kind of what you're hoping to see out of David Bailey. Yeah, it would be nice if the surface level stats are there with, the sack total. But like I said earlier, you don't need him to be a 15 sack guy in year one. It'd be nice, but you just got to see signs of him progressing to that by year's end.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. First super chat of the day from Kashmir. Thank you, Kashmir. And by the way, a little listener appreciation. All $5 super chats will count for the raffle. So Kashmir, you are in for one. QB and coaching is what leaves us at a disadvantage in most games this year, but overall talent, we're not that much further from a lot of teams. I happen to agree with this. If you compare the Jets roster to some of the teams they're going to play that are supposed to be in their weight class, talent-wise, I don't look at it and go, wow, they don't belong on the field with these teams. I think so much of the Jets season is whether or not Aaron Glenn can actually prove he's a decent head coach.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that baked-in excuse that there was at the end of the year when they were putting a practice squad level team out on the football field, that's not there. So if they're getting blown out and losing by 30 points every week, then that's a massive, massive red flag for this coaching staff. So I agree a lot with this comment from Kashmir here. I do think they are significantly more talented going into the season. And it's really up to guys like Geno Smith at quarterback. Can he just be average to slightly below average at the position, because that would be an improvement over what you had? And can we see signs from the head coach and the offensive coordinator to, have this looking like a normal NFL team?
Hit the like button if you're just joining us. If you have a question for Matt, write it in. Super chats always get on the show, and we'll cut the line. Your thoughts on the latest with the Geno situation? There really hasn't been much news since the initial back and forth with the police department over a 2-day span, where one day it was the investigation's closed. Next day is it's being assigned to a detective and the investigation is active. There's been nothing really since then. Are you concerned with this Geno situation?
Not really, no. Just until kind of waiting until we get more information. I know it was Samini on the Jets Collective show was saying that, like, don't really expect a suspension for the 2026 season. So obviously we have to wait for more information, but even if more info came out and there could be a suspension down the line, it's not really something that I'm worried about having an impact on this year's football team from a football perspective, obviously. So I fully expect him to be the week 1 starter in Tennessee. I'm not really all that concerned at this point. Again, kind of just waiting for more info to come out.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. I'm with you. It's just so Jets that this comes out when there's like literally nothing happening. Like yesterday, the reason why I didn't do the show, as I mentioned at the top, I was at a sports radio conference, and the people coming up to me talking Jets, like, of course, Geno Smith. You know, he's not even going to be available for you guys, and it's just like, just don't need this. Like, we do not need any sort of controversy with Geno Smith of all people before we even get to training camp.
Yeah, like in a perfect world, this doesn't happen, obviously. And it was a very quiet off season until it wasn't. And hopefully it ends up, nothing comes of this, and there's no suspension, no arrest, nothing. But still, the fact that this is going to be a talking point is annoying.
You're spot on about that. Annoying. I think it's a good way to put it. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. What did you think of Rich Cimini's report that Omar Cooper Jr., as we were talking about rookies just before, really stood out during the spring practices?
Yeah, that's a really good sign, right? Like, we as Jet fans have seen a lot of really poor offenses, and I talked about AD Mitchell having a really good spring and early summer, but if rookie and Omar Cooper is also standing out in a positive light, that gives you 3 weapons at wide receiver that you feel good about. And that's not counting the tight ends and Mason Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq, and that's not counting Breece Hall out of the backfield catching passes. I just think it would be a good thing for this team to have a variety of options on the offensive side of the ball. It's not just, hey, we're funneling targets to Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson because that's the only 2 players that the Jets have on offense. There's a variety of ways that the Jets can beat you, which is very strange to say out loud. I'm not used to saying that, Jake.
It is odd. There are some players on this team, and a big part of the season is the rookies, in particular, Cooper and Sadiq, taking a big step in year 1 helping this team be productive. We're presented by PrizePicks. Code HMA. Put $5 in. You'll get $50 when you download the PrizePicks app. Cooper's numbers are here on PrizePicks. 3.5 touchdowns, 575.5 receiving yards. If you had to pick for each of these, Matt, where would you go with a guy like Omar Cooper Jr.?
Yeah, I'm going to go over on both, or more on both, but I think those are pretty good lines. Like, I'm somewhere around 600 yards for Cooper. It really depends on, what the target share looks like after Garrett Wilson. And I think he should get in the end zone more than 3.5 times, but I don't think he's someone who's going to have like 8 or more. He might just slightly hit it with like 4 or 5 touchdowns. But, if you're asking me to pick for both of those, I think more is the pick, but it's not going to be well over. These are pretty well set lines, I would say.
Man, I'm right there with you. I think it's so tough to project the receiving yards because there's a lot of mouths to feed. Like, then you look at Kenyon Sadiq, and his number is at 449.5. You also have Mason Taylor, who's going to get targets at that same position. There's a lot of buzz around AD Mitchell. So what does that mean for the numbers for a guy like Omar Cooper? Like, the only number I'm like really safe projecting for the Jets is just Garrett Wilson being Garrett Wilson. I'd take the more on touchdowns and receiving yards on him because I just know they're going to funnel the ball to Garrett Wilson as they should.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be Garrett Wilson at like 11 to 1,300 yards, and then like 4 guys between 400 and 600 yards in that range. It's just, like you said, there's a lot of mouths to feed. So it really depends on what the pecking order, is. But you could tell me, Omar Cooper's 2nd or he's 5th. And I know that's a big difference, but I wouldn't be shocked either way, just because there's so many guys in that next cluster after Garrett Wilson, obviously as the leader in receptions.
Hit the like button, comments, questions, your super chats. Always cut the line. JD nails it, boils down to Geno's play. Yeah. I mean, if Geno Smith is closer to what he was in Seattle versus what we saw last year, I don't think it's unrealistic to think that the Jets could have a top 20 offense. Like, again, the talent is there. A lot of it comes down to Geno and Frank Reich putting these guys in the best possible positions.
Yeah, we're not asking for top 10. It'd be nice, but I think we'd all be pretty excited if they were like 18th in offense. You're like, hey, they're a slightly below average offense. That's a big time improvement for the Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. The Jets are the only team, Matt, since the league merger of 1970 that have 10 consecutive seasons of being a bottom 10 scoring offense and a bottom 10 points per game, or scoring offense and bottom 10 yards per game offense. Like, no team has ever done that. The Jets have done it 10 straight years.
The bar is the floor. That's all you could say, right? The bar is the floor. Just get out of being a bottom 10 offense. If they're again, like I said, around the league average, that would be celebrated like they were a top 5 offense in the NFL.
Well, one of the things they have to be better at, and I talked about this the other day, and I made a graphic for it. Look where they've been in the red zone in particular. Like the last time they had a great offense was 2015. They were the third best team in the league in red zone touchdown percentage. The last couple of years, 31st, 32nd, 31st. Like their quote unquote best finish is like, oh, they were 15th the McCown year of 2017. That's 2017. Like it's pathetic. I mean, of the last 4 years, 3 of the last 4 years, they've been the second or the worst team in the NFL in red zone percentage. If you don't score touchdowns when you get in there, it doesn't matter. And so much of it is like, I think on Frank Reich and Geno, because if you look at the personnel, as we've talked about, there's no reason why they can't be a competent offense if they get competent quarterback play.
No, you're right. And it's shocking that like even in 2024, when you had Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, you finished 21st, which was also what you finished in 2021 with a rookie Zach Wilson and company. It's shocking. And like 2024, again, with Aaron Rodgers, you go 5-12. You couldn't even get to 20 points a game on average on offense. They were like 19 point something. And it's just, that has to change. You can't be competitive in today's NFL if you can't get over 20 points a game on average and, score touchdowns in the red zone. It's embarrassing that you have to go back all the way to 2015 that they were an above average offense in the red zone. That is something that desperately needs to change.
It is so pathetic. It really is. It is so pathetic. Oh, man. Super chat for Peter says Geno needs to keep his head on straight. I agree, Peter. And I'm glad you only spent $2 for this one instead of the legendary Alan Lazard, how is his pulse after a June minicamp practice where Peter spent $499, mistakenly thinking that it was $4.99.
That's an all-timer. Good stuff, Peter.
How many touchdowns do you think Geno Smith will throw this year, Matt?
25, something like that. I would sign up for that. Yeah, I think we'd all sign up for 25. I know he had, 32 in Seattle in his best year, something like that. I just don't have it in me to go that high. Last year, even in a bad year, was 19. I think he'll be better. So somewhere between like 22 and 25.
If you're just joining us, giveaway at the end of this show. That's right. Raffle at the end of the show. We need at least 20 entries. Right now we have one, but I'm confident by the time we're done, we'll get enough names on the wheel to spin the wheel. We're giving away either a Namath, Klecko, Martin, Corbett, Revis, Mangold, Keyshawn jersey, or to all my fellow Knicks fans out there, if you want an NBA Knicks Finals jersey with the patch on it and all, you can enter for that. Pick your Knicks player of choice, Josh Hart, Cat, Jalen Brunson, OG, Mikal Bridges, you name it. We make it happen for you here on the show. Here's another question that I want you to weigh in on. I saw this from Badlands, so I took the screenshot to show you on the show this morning. The Jet record through their first 4, because I think the start they get off to determines whether or not we actually have like a season where, the Jets could be relevant into the fall months. Last year, we couldn't even get out of September before the season was basically cooked. What will the Jets record be in their first 4 games of the year?
Yeah, my heart wants to say 2-2, but my head says 1-3. I think they get the game in Tennessee. We've talked about that a lot. I know you have as well. As a super important game for the Jets to get off to their season on a good note. But those next 3 games against the NFC North are really tough. I think the most winnable of the 3 is Green Bay because it's at home and there's, potential for some guys to be missing from Green Bay in that game in particular. And they've gotten off to slow starts in the past, but going on the road in Detroit and at Chicago are both very, very tough matchups. So my hope is 2-2, but if you're asking me to make a realistic prediction, I think 1-3 is where I'm at.
1-3 is probably the most likely scenario here. Better not be 0-4. If they're 0-4 after you started 0-7 last year, I don't know if Aaron Glenn makes it through the year.
Yeah, and it really would unfortunately sets the tone for your season, right? Like it's just really hard to dig yourself out of that hole, which is why it's so important to get these wins at the beginning of the year and set yourself up. And I know the schedule softens a little bit after this initial run, but what's the mindset of the team at 0-4? It's probably hard for these guys not to just go, here we go again, and then the season gets off the rails at that point. So That's why you got to get one in week 1 at Tennessee. That's a super important game for this team.
Speaking of Tennessee, for those of you who are making the trip, make sure that you RSVP for the events that we have planned for all the Jet fans that are going to be down there. Gangrene pre-party at Barstool Nashville the day before the game from 4 to 7. It is free if you RSVP with the link that is in the description. It is a link to a partyful.com event page, and you can click RSVP for you and however many people you're going to be with, or just send the link to anyone that's joining you. And make sure you RSVP because we'll do a raffle as well for anyone who's coming to that outing. So stay tuned for some prizes that we have cooking up for that event. And then the next morning, tailgate starts at 8 a.m. Tickets are on sale now. If you go to GameDayFlightCrew.com, you can get your ticket for $85. It includes food, beverage, traditional tailgate games, a live DJ, and more. The exact location will be announced when we get closer to kickoff, but you'll be locked in and get all that info emailed to you once you lock in your ticket. So again, we're on the Nashville soon, folks. It's going to be here before you know it. So if you're on the fence about going, make sure you book your trip and you join us for our annual Asmaniac road trip outing. I'm looking at that game, Matt, like it's the Jets Super Bowl. Like it is, like I don't know how they're going to be this year, but if they can only win one game, please let it be week 1 so we have some hope at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And especially so many former Jets in that game and a former head coach. And, he's going to be hyped up for that game in Robert Saleh. And you can't get off to a slow start, as we mentioned. That's one you got to get on the road.
You have to. No other way to say it. You got to do it. Doc Jet fan in the raffle for 2. Thank you, Doc. Great call with Connor Long yesterday by the Doc. He writes in, bottom line, the Jet roster is good enough to be average on both offense and defense and good on special teams. Unless there's massive injuries, anything less than a near 500 record is on the coaching staff. I agree, because at some point you need to win games. You need to show progress, man. Like the worst teams in the league every once in a while still give you a year where they're relevant. The Giants had a 9-7-1 year with Daniel Jones and made the playoffs and won a playoff game. As bad as the Browns have been, there's been 2 instances where they've been a playoff team over the last 6 years. Like it's enough of just, what do you expect? They're rebuilding. Like rebuilds don't last 15 years and counting.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's a league that's built on parity, right? Like it's set up with 7 teams in each conference make the playoffs. And, the Jets are the only team with a 15-year playoff drought. Everyone else is making the playoffs in just random good years, or one year you get hot and you go 9-8 or whatever. It's shocking that hasn't happened just by accident at this point. And, you're right. Like, I don't want to really hear all these excuses anymore. You got to get over the hump eventually here.
You have to get over the hump. You have to get out to a good start. And I always come back to this. I don't think Robert Saleh was a great head coach by any means, but they were 6-3 in his second year. They were 7-4. If Mike White stays healthy, I don't know how you feel. I'm convinced that team actually goes to the playoffs. I think they were good enough. And I don't think Saleh was an excellent head coach, but it just shows you, like, that's the NFL. On a given year, you could be fake good for most of the year and be relevant. Like, we're not asking for much as Jet fans to have a competitive season.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I wonder how much things would have been different if Mike White didn't get hurt, and they didn't have to go back to Zach Wilson. It's the 6-game losing streak at the end of the year was incredibly tough. But that's a great call out on your part, and that Mike White would have started a playoff game. That would have been a stat up there with all the other random quarterbacks that have started wild card weekend. It probably would have been one and done, but at least you got your streak over with.
And then we had to go back to Zach Wilson and pain. Oh, the pain.
Clown!
No.
Show!
You're still a loser.
Clown!
You're a loser.
Show!
You're a Mets
Say it with me, Mike! Clown show! Clown show! Clown show! Clown show! Clown show!
Absolute clown show in the New York Jets. Dominic Sorrow in the Asmaniac raffle for 2. Thank you, Dominic. Give him a hug, Woody.
I hug him every day. I hug him every day.
Hit the like button. Matt O'Leary with us here. We're going to do some of your calls coming up. Good luck to Chad, who wrote in that he's moving into his new apartment today on the hottest day of the year. This brings me back to my days when I lived in Texas for almost 6 years. It is brutal. You go outside at night. Last night I was at a bar in the neighborhood watching the U.S. game, and it is 90-something degrees at 11 o'clock at night. It is steamy. It is brutal. And the mayor said, "Oh, put your air conditioning unit at 78 degrees." Yeah, good luck with that one. I mean, what a joke. It is so hot today. Good luck, Chad.
Yeah, it is incredibly hot. I took the dog out at 7 o'clock this morning and it was already incredibly hot. So not looking forward to it. It's an indoor day.
Oh, yeah. Stay in the AC if you can, everyone. Do the best you can there. I'm doing morning radio tomorrow from 6 to 10 a.m. So we need some of the Asmaniacs to call in. I'm hosting our morning show. So for those of you who are going to be traveling somewhere for July 4th weekend, put on the ESPN New York app or the ESPN New York YouTube channel, and you can tune in and you can watch. Let's see. This question I have for you is something that I hit on the other day, and I want your take on it. Inspired by the Jet Nation tweet you see on the screen, give me your top 3 Jets you're expecting to see a big jump from this year.
I really like this question. I'm going to go Olu as my first guy. I think he's been a solid left tackle, but I think he takes that next step up and he's one of the better starting left tackles in the AFC. I think Juwan Briggs takes another step. He's someone who I thought flashed last year for the New York Jets. And I'm going to go Will McDonald for my third guy. Kind of a bounce back performance, right? Getting back to the 2024 level. But after what I think many would consider a down year, I think with better talent around him in the edge room, I think he gets back to being a double-digit sack guy.
McDonald is really in a spot where he should be able to have that complete season we've been waiting for, because he has Bailey on the opposite side. They've improved some of the other areas of the team, we think, against the run. So there should be more, third down, rush the passer opportunities. The secondary, I have some questions about it, but I do think Minka, Pons, some of the moves they made there, I think they're better in that department. I think DeMario will have guys on more of the same page. I really think this has to be the year we see that full Will McDonald complete season. Going into now, year 4 already with this team? It's crazy.
Yeah, it is year 4. It went very quickly, but you're right. I think this is absolutely the time. He's playing for a contract. It's now or never for Will McDonald.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let's get to some of your calls now. Matt O'Leary hanging out with us here. Make sure you guys subscribe to Matt's channel. Raffle at the end of the show. Assuming we get 20 entries. Right now we're at 5, so we're 15 away from a Jets or Knicks jersey raffle up for grabs on our show. Make sure you enter the Asmaniac raffle for your chance to win. You can gift a membership, send a Venmo, super chat. $5 will get you in the raffle for one for those of you who are watching on their phone and can't gift a membership to the community. Let's start it off on the hotline with Brandon, who gets us rolling right now. Hello, Brandon. Hey, Brandon, unmute your mic. We can't hear you. Brandon, you're on mute. Unmute the microphone, and then we can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that. How's it
All
going,
good.
guys?
What's up, man?
I seen that today's today's take or whatever is about the media's positivity about the Jets, but I actually have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so this may, I don't know how to I actually have a take on it, but everyone may have a different one. The year Geno Smith was punched in the face and missed out?
2015.
Yes. I honestly believe, my own opinion, I think he would have had a better season than Ryan Fitzpatrick if he actually played. And I know Ryan had a good season, but I honestly think the Jets probably would have made the playoffs that season. And maybe call me crazy, but yeah, that was the season where I was really disappointed to find out that he was sucker punched in the face. Because I don't know how you guys feel about it.
We're never going to know for sure. I do think Geno was in position to have a good season because that team had players, man, like Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker, Quincy Enunwa, Chris Ivory, Bilal Powell, Mangold and Brick was still anchoring that offensive line. That team was really talented. Like, they were good. They were a good team that was playing great football by the end of that year.
Yeah, and the team was built for Geno Smith, and unfortunately he never got that opportunity, but he was going to be the starter. So, hard to say. I know he finished the 2014 season strong, had a really nice last game of the season. So, yeah, I mean, there's a chance that he would have been better that year, but unfortunately, no way to know for sure.
Yeah, and Fitz had a great year to the last game, of course, but it was short-lived. You wonder, you look at the team now, I almost see like some of the parallels to the 2015 season and this team in terms of like Chan Gailey, old offensive coordinator. Does he have another year where he could be a really good play caller like he was in 15? You're kind of asking Frank Reich to give you a similar season. And Gino, where he's at now, is kind of what Ryan Fitzpatrick was in a way at that stage of his career with the Jets. Like, I know Gino started all last year. Fitz was more of a backup, I think, with the Texans when the Jets made that deal. But Fitz has kind of bounced around, been a backup, been a starter at times. That's what Gino's been in his career since leaving the Jets. There's some similarities there between that Jet season and like where we're at right now with this team.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's spot on. Geno Smith, now a veteran in his mid-30s, you're kind of wondering, can he come in and just, do what he did a few years ago when he was in Seattle, right? And we saw, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was a career journeyman and mostly a backup quarterback, come in and put up statistically one of the best seasons in Jets history at the position. So, it's a low bar. The Jets haven't had a lot of great quarterback play in their history, but Gino is set up for success. It's really up to him at this point.
220 of you are watching live. Thanks for being here on a Thursday morning. Click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Only 56 likes. The math's not mathing. So click that thumbs up button. That helps the channel continue to grow. Let's say hello to Dan, who's up next on the hotline today. What's up, Dan?
What's going on, guys? As Islanders fans, I was thinking about this the night of the NHL draft. As a Jets Islanders fan, who am I more optimistic about in the next, 2-3 years? And usually it's the Islanders for the last, 5-10 years for good reason. But I think it might be the Jets. What do you guys think?
Matt, you're so qualified to answer this one, so go ahead.
I would still go Islanders because the Matthew Schaefer effect.
That's it.
I don't think the Jets have a player of that caliber on this roster. But who knows, if they find their young quarterback in 2027, that could obviously flip. But I understand why you might say Jets, but I think Schaefer is the best player on either of the two teams.
I agree. Yeah, the kid's generational, but that's the only thing that tips it in the Islanders' favor. I think. But yeah, I think it's closer than it's really been in the last 5-6 years. But anyways, that's all. I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Great call, Dan. I'm gonna miss Anders Lee, by the way, Matt. He, I have it's off camera here, you can't see it, but I have a framed Anders Lee like photo and puck that I've seen for years that is gonna hit a little differently, knowing that he's no longer the Islander captain. He's moving on. I would still go Islanders because of Schaefer, and like they've had more success of late than the Jets have. Like the Islanders have been a routine playoff team over the last 6-7 years. They were in the conference finals 2 straight years. I feel better about the Islanders ownership than I do about the Jet ownership. So I still would go Islanders, but the Jets' future can be bright. They have the assets to at least turn it around if they actually get the right people in the right places.
Yeah, and I didn't even mention, but coaching, like Peter DeBoer, is a good coach. We have no idea if Aaron Glenn is any good or not. In fact, he was not very good in year one. And, there's, with the, not to make this an Islanders show, but they're kind of stuck in the mushy middle. They're not an elite team. They're not a terrible team. They've been in the middle here for the last 5 years or so. But the Jets still have a lot to prove, and the coaching staff, I think, needs to be added to that combo.
Give me your take on Anders Lee leaving, signing a new deal with Utah, and then who's the next Islander captain?
Yeah, so good for him, right? He got a 3-year deal. He's going to be 36 tomorrow, so I don't think I would have been advocating for the Islanders to give a 36-year-old Anders Lee 3 years, but one of my favorite Islanders of all time. He was the captain of probably the best team is anyone under the age of 45 saw. Like if you weren't around for the dynasty era, the 2019 through 2021 run was the best run for Islanders fans of the younger generation. Great guy on and off the ice. And I think Bo Horvat will be the next captain. He's got like 4 or 5 years left on his deal. And then I think eventually it goes to Matthew Schaefer. I just have a hard time giving the captaincy to a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it's Schaefer. He's going to be the captain, but probably not this early on in his career. And tough day for orange and blue teams. Mitchell Robinson goes to Boston, the one team I was like, please, it's not them, no. And then Anders, I think we knew it was coming, but still a great Islander, great dude. So he's no longer with the team, but at least the U.S. won last night, baby. Soccer matters. Oh, yeah.
We're hopping on the bandwagon. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. I got a Pulisic jersey from China for $15. That's what I'm wearing right now. Outstanding. You can't even tell. And he's a Jet fan, so that's the reason why I picked Christian Pulisic.
I love that. Didn't know that about him. So he's my new favorite player on Team US.
Yeah, ignore the photo of him and Zach Wilson before the Jets played in London in 2021.
Oh no.
Ignore that. He is a Jet fan, though. He's talked about it in a bunch of interviews over the years. So shout out to Team USA. They got completely screwed with the red card last night on the kid that scored basically all our goals in this tournament. But they still were able to overcome that and win. So we'll see what they do against Belgium on Monday. You into soccer at all? I know people have said, "Oh, if you like hockey, then you could like soccer." There's actually more scoring in hockey there even is in soccer.
I can't get into it. I've tried. I've tried. I've watched a couple games of this World Cup, but not a soccer guy. Obviously, hope US wins, but not a soccer fan.
Not a soccer guy, Matt O'Leary. But you're pro America, correct?
Yeah. Yes, correct. We are a pro America show here.
Now, there's a guy on the line that refuses to acknowledge whether or not he's rooting for Team USA. Let's see if watching last night's big victory changes his mentality. Beast, we can't see you in the dark there. Got to put a ring light on. Can't see.
Boo.
None of us can see you.
Boo, England. Boo.
England, the team that kicked the crap out of Congo yesterday. Who? And who did it? The great Harry Kane.
You're not British, Beast. You're American.
Hey, my grandmother was from this country. I'm going to support my grandmother very, very well.
Zach Asman says, you're a tax-paying American, Beast. You should be pulling for the squad.
I've been supporting my grandmother's country for over 27 years, and my grandmother came from Birmingham.
Birmingham, Alabama?
Survey says no. You're close, but close only counts in horseshoes and what's this tell you? Grenade! Hand grenade.
Beast,
kid.
why aren't you rooting for Team USA?
I haven't liked them since 1998. I've kept watching them and said, nah, they've jumped, they failed. And all of a sudden,
but they're not failing. They're winning. They're a scrappy underdog in this thing now.
It's like the guy from Ace Ventura once said, I think I heard the toilet flush.
Now, why can't you say, I'm rooting for Team USA?
I've been supporting this since 98.
You wear a MAGA hat, though.
Only for Trump because Trump's policies work.
Yeah, but his policies, his campaign, his slogan is "Make America Great Again," not "Make Great Britain Great Again."
I've also played the video games supporting England on the, let's see, PES, Pro Evolution Soccer.
Right, but forget about video games. Let's talk about the reality that we live in. 2026.
I still support the Brits. They're still
are you anti-American, Beast?
The English Premier League, I used to watch, but
it sounds like you're a communist. Prove you're not a commie.
Everything's different now. Everything's political nowadays.
If Big Don called into my show, he would be disgusted with you not saying you're rooting for the Team USA.
Are we gonna start this shit today?
Yes, we are. July 4th is in 2 days. We need patriotic Beast.
Lost him.
I love when Beast thinks because he turns off his camera and mutes his mic. That means we just think he's not there. I know you're hearing every word I'm saying, Beast. You must root for America. Otherwise, you are a communist. You hear me? You're a commie.
Clown!
No. You're still a loser.
Clown!
Show!
Say it with me, Mike. Clown show! Clown show! Clown show! Clown show! Clown show!
Come on, Beast.
Rooting for Great Britain. Come on.
He goes, I don't need this. You do, Beast. You need to admit that you're a communist. Or you could say you're rooting for Team USA. The choice is yours. PBM writes, and not rooting for Team USA is literally anti-American. I agree.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other thing to say.
Sad. Real sad. More of your calls here, ladies and gentlemen. Adam is next.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
Hey guys, what a game, right?
What's up, Adam?
Oh my God, I got a lot to cover. So that game yesterday was fantastic, and I just think, like, can you feel the tide turning for all sorts of teams that were, underdogs and not great for a really long time? Are you starting to see this trend? And I'm hoping that the Jets are going to tag on to that too, because that was a very confident U.S. team yesterday that had composure, the kind of composure that we saw with the Knicks when they were down by a lot, and they just held with it. And, I think the Jets could learn a lot just by taking a look at some of these other teams. And, if a call goes their way, a stupid DPI or some stupid play, and just move on from it and know that you're the better team and go kick Tennessee's butt week 1 when it's all said and done.
I mean, hey, sign me up from your lips to God's ears on that. It was a really impressive win by the U.S., though, especially because they played the last 30 minutes down a man and still were able to get another goal to go up 2.
Yeah, and they were so confident in their own abilities that they're like, we could beat them with 10. Like, you couldn't even tell that they were a man down.
Yep.
And I love that free kick. That was just icing on the cake. That
was sick. Tell me that was all. I don't watch enough soccer to pretend I'm some sort of expert at all, but in all the games I watch, you very rarely see scoring, it feels like, half the time. So to see an absolute snipe on a free kick like that, you never see Americans doing that. So that was awesome.
No, and that's the crazy part. It's like, wow, we're actually capable of this. How many times with the teams that we follow this year, we get surprised, wow, this team can actually do this. It's a great feeling. So long may it last for all the teams that we support. In terms of the Jets, I think this should be the most comfortable, chill season we've ever had. Because, if we do great, awesome. If we don't do great, we're loaded up for an amazing draft. And we're going to find our QB of the future regardless next year. Just depends on what position we're in, but we're fine. This is such a chill season. Enjoy it. I hope that we put up a ton of points. Whatever our win-loss record is, let's get to 4,000 yards passing and a whole bunch of scoring and have a Jameis Winston quarterback experience where it's just points all the time. So at least it's entertaining, and it's going to show up in red zone instead of just basically being blacked out because there's nothing going on. And then, sorry, let you respond to that. And I got one last point.
I was going to say that would be fun. I'm good on that. Even if you have to deal with the turnovers, if they're putting up points, that's really all that I care about.
Yeah. And I got to say on the show, I was convinced that Celtics would never trade Jaylen Brown. All the fans are unanimous that this doesn't look like a great trade on paper.
I don't get the trade at all. I said this last night to people that I was with when we all were going nuts when we saw it. If you're going to dangle Jaylen Brown in trade talks for Giannis and you don't get Giannis, you then can't pivot and then trade him for Paul George. You have to just give whatever Milwaukee wanted and make the Giannis deal at that point, because I can't go from swapping Brown for Giannis for then 35 or 36-year-old Paul George. That's crazy to me. I know Brown's contract is enormous, but he's 29. He's an NBA Finals MVP. You have to get Tatum and him in a room and figure out a way to make that relationship work before you trade him for a washed Paul George.
Absolutely. I think there's 2 reasons behind the trade. Again, Celtics fans are going to hate this. I hate this. Every Celtics fan thinks this is a bad deal. And all the Celtics fans appreciated Brown. I think all the Celtics fans would also say, if you had to pick between Tatum and Brown, you pick Tatum. So it's just unfortunate and uncomfortable. But I think there were 2 reasons behind the trade and what the value was in return. One is there's this unknown locker room element that we just don't know about, and I don't think we ever will. But the second was, people are looking at the analytics, and even though he put up great numbers, the analytics say otherwise. And I think a lot of the GMs and their analytics teams all saw the same thing, and the value that we as fans put on Jaylen Brown and the All-Star voting and all that and the All-NBA voting didn't match up with the analytics, which is why the return was not nearly as high as what people thought it was going to be. So I think that's the last I'm going to talk about, this Jaylen Brown stuff. I'm sorry that the Sixers now all of a sudden are like right up there as like the top contender to the Knicks in the East.
Here's why I don't buy the Sixers. I need to see Joel Embiid actually be healthy for a full playoff series before I buy in.
Sure, but I mean, if he's not there, then it's more time, more opportunities for Jaylen now. So they just got another like all NBA level player for whenever Embiid isn't.
Yeah, I think they're the best team in the East. It's not the Knicks at this point. I think that move with Brown puts them in that spot.
Absolutely. So sorry about that. It sucks. And we commiserate. There might be other things going on with the Celtics, but honestly, who cares at this point? Like, we all know that this is like multi-year journey now. Like, the window is closed and the era is closed. So we're licking our wounds. It's been disappointing, but the Knicks are great. The Knicks showed some really great stuff that I hope the Jets will pick up on. And I'd like to see some Knicks fans at the Jets games. I think that would be pretty sick.
Adam, from your lips to God's ears.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Don't leave. Who let the dogs out? Don't leave.
Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Beastbreaker has responded. I love this country, but we have idiots who are bandwagon blowhards who have nothing. Everything is about money, business, and life, and making a future. I'm not sure what that has to do with the U.S. men's soccer team, but thank you for the commentary, Beast. Also, we have this from Lou B, who's trying to contact Beast. He says, Beast, answer your phone. We need to talk about USA. Beast, you take Lou B's phone call when he tries to call you. That man single-handedly provided you with a brand new bathtub and hot water. Don't you dare forget it.
This is true. You're indebted for life to Lou Beast.
Those are the rules. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the world champion New York Knicks. So it's fitting that the next caller is the Asmaniac reigning champion.
He's always cooking or coaching or flashing his green. This man is cooking or kicking as maniac. He's at the tailgate. He's cooking, blowtorching his food. A diehard Jets legend, the chef they call Kevin. Chef Kevin.
Hey, good morning, Jake. Good morning, Matt. How y'all doing?
Doing good. What's up,
the champ?
Let's go. Yo, Jake, man. I just, wanted to share with you guys, man, that your Monday show, your second show, with the appearance of Justin, that really helped me out, man. I couldn't tell you how many times I laughed so hard with all that stuff, man. I lost my grandmother on Monday, so being able to get some enjoyment out of the show, which I normally do, but that was just a special show, man. My hats off to you and what you do, man. Like, that was so needed, man, in a time where I needed some like comic relief, and there's not too much Jet stuff out there, which, Matt, I salute you as well, man. Being able to find and search out for some Jet stuff, man. It's not easy this time, so I appreciate that stuff, man. For Gino, I feel like and this is just a guess, man. I don't really have anything to find out, kind of like really support what I have to say, but I just feel like with this negative energy that he had with the police and that girl or whatever, I feel like this is going to be something where he has to really like lock in right now and really know that he's under a microscope. Like, he's back in New York, man. This ain't no place where you can kind of just skate by and not really have to face the media. Like, the first time he sees us, he's gonna have to answer some questions. So the play on the field, that's really the only thing that's gonna fix all this stuff, because if his play ain't working, if he's not utilizing the weapons that we have, that Muji was able to bring in, the line that we have, which I think is decent. I can't really jump out there and say that we have a great O-line. Josh Myers, he's that piece where I'm like, I need to see a little bit more out of him. But with that line, with the weapons, I feel like he has no other choice but to perform. Now, with Wright and the play calling and getting everything together, because This is the first time. It's not like Frank Wright had a bunch of seasons, off seasons, to really get this thing working. So I feel like there might be some early mistakes, but if Geno like throws the ball down the field and we really get these things going, man, I feel like you could kind of like buy us back in a little bit. What do you guys think?
Well, first off, Kevin, condolences
Yeah.
to you and your family on your loss. That's tough news to hear. Sorry to hear that.
Thank you guys.
I agree with you. I feel like in terms of Geno, I did see some videos. I think Boy Green might have been the one who posted it of him working out with Mason Taylor and Robbie Anderson of all people down in Florida. So, it's not like Geno's doing nothing while all this is happening. He's putting in the work ahead of training camp at the end of the month, but it just adds more of a spotlight on him now going into the season. Like I feel like Geno was kind of flying under the radar in a lot of aspects among like the storylines with the team because the Jets were kind of out of sight, out of mind with the Knicks run. But there's nothing going on in the NFL world, so the Geno thing becomes a bigger story than it would have been if it was in the middle of all these other things happening around the league. So there is probably more of a heightened pressure cooker that will be on him when we get the training camp.
Yeah, definitely. And just piggyback off of that, I think, and Kevin, you were saying this too, the weapons that are here for Geno Smith, he should be put in a position to where he can have success. So, to me, I think it really is up to him. There's not that built-in excuse like there was with the Raiders where, his offensive line was in shambles and, they traded away his best receiver and Brock Bowers got hurt during the year and they had a rookie running back who hadn't really hit his stride yet. So I think Geno is set up well here. And it's kind of, at this point, it's up to him to come in and perform.
Agreed. And then it's like the defense. So for me, it's Bailey and Pons, man. They really got to be the X factors on this defense, knowing about, the interception thing, which, I hate talking about and bringing it up. That's like a sore spot, but we got him for a reason, man. Somebody that's going to get in there, get some tackles, mix it up. We need some interceptions, man, a strong body of presence, a winner. He's a winner. We need that. When the spotlight is on you, how well do you perform? And then with Bailey, dude, you're the number 2 pick, man. I mean, you have to make an impact. Anything like, less than 7-8 sacks, it's not doing it for me, man. We wasted, if second number 2 pick, like we got you, so we really need to see you perform well. And then you have our head coach who now is a D coordinator. He believes in you so much that we got that pick. So we got to see game record. Like he has to change the game. And if so, then that puts our offense in a much better position for us to score points, man. Like we can't do worse than last year. If we do worse than last year, then Matt, Jake, like, the rest of the Jet content creators, now we all pissed off because now we're talking about draft talk and all that. Like, I'm tired of talking about draft talk in October, November. Like, it's enough, man. We have some pieces here. We feel good for the most part with Muji and what he's able to do. Now it's on AG to really see and put the stuff together, man, to be able to get us some wins, man, make us feel happy. Like your job's on the line, man. All these people, they're getting paid. So in order to really perform well and deserve your contract, we got to see some wins from you.
Well said, Kev. Hang in there, man. Appreciate you calling in.
I got you. Mind if I touch on something real quick? I gotta touch the pulse, man, of you guys with the World Cup stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I took my son to France-Senegal game at MetLife and had a hell of a time. We had the jerseys and all that stuff. Hey, man, I'm a Team USA guy, but we do like France since, we were there. We had that experience and all that kind of stuff. If France and USA went against each other, I'm going for USA. Is it wrong for me to root for both teams?
Well, the French did help us basically become the United States of America, if you think about it. So they are a long-standing alliance of the United States. So
Historian, I like it.
Yeah. I think the World Cup too, especially if you're hopping on the bandwagon. I feel like that this is okay to have like a second team that you're also kind of hoping for. As long as US is one, I think you're good.
Word. I appreciate that. And then I heard Adam before talking about those Knicks, man. Hey, we're the toast of the town, man. These other teams, they're scrambling. LeBron is on the loose. Like
Does
West.
LeBron want to take the minimum to be the backup center for the Knicks this year?
Yo, like he'll have a hell of a time. Where else you gonna go? You gonna go to Milwaukee? You ain't going to Milwaukee. You're not going to Boston. What did Boston like? Yo, that was a mess.
Philly
man.
reached out apparently. I think he's going to end up. It sounds like he's going to end up playing with Steph finally with the Warriors. But if I'm him, I'd go back to Cleveland and get the proper send off from the team that he's going to be most associated with in his career.
Just end it off. Like Cleveland, I think that would make the most sense for anybody talking about Philly making this trade, getting Jaylen Brown, and all of a sudden jumping the Knicks. Yo, you out your mind. Yo, you out your goddamn mind talking about anything jumping the Knicks. We swept them this past year. We swept them in the playoffs. Now you telling me you're getting Brown and all of a sudden that's going to flip the script on us? Hell no. I challenge anybody to that, man. But I appreciate y'all, Jake, man. Again, yo, the shows, what you do, guys, you're close. We're almost at the finish line to get to training camp where we're going to see a lot more stuff. Keep pumping out the content, man. Let's go, Jets.
Chef Kevin, everybody. Let's go.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York, New York, world champions.
Damn right, Joe B. Great call by Chef Kev. Lou B with a great super chat. I was waiting for the official Lou B approval so we could discuss this. Larry Johnson, LJ, will be at Gangrene Beach Club on July 11th. Knickerbocker Beach Club as well. So you can wear Jets or Knicks gear if you're coming to our event. So we got Wayne Corbett and Larry Johnson, both in person hanging out with New York sports fans on July 11th at HQ2. In AC. So it's going to be fun. I'll probably be wearing a Jet shirt and a Knick championship hat at Gangrene Beach Club next week or 2 weeks from this Saturday, or a week from this Saturday, excuse me. So I'm pumped, but congrats to Lou and the HQ team for securing LJ and Wayne Corbett for July 11th. That's going to be awesome.
I can't wait, dude. It's gonna be such a fun time. And a couple weeks before training camp, it's like a little preseason party before we're in the trenches here talking about Cade Klubnik completion percentages during July practices. We get a little fun in.
Oh yeah, nothing like it. Nothing like it. By the way, so France, as Chef Kevin alluded to there, they played at MetLife the other day in the World Cup, and everywhere you went in the city, you'd see a bunch of French people. And here's what I would do for my pure entertainment. I'd walk by them and I'd be like, Mbappe. And they're just like, yeah, Mbappe. And they love it. So if you see any French people walking around, just yell Mbappe and they go wild. I didn't bring up Wembanyama. I was respectful.
Yeah, thank God. Good. But we could talk some Mbappe. Why not?
Wemby's a dirt bag. But I didn't go there. I just went Mbappe, and that's their guy. All right. People tell me he's good at this football that they call outside the U.S. Let's do, Matt, you got time for 2 more calls before we let you run?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we got 2 good ones for you. First things first, Jason in Jerusalem is up next, and he's a big Islander fan, so we had to get him on today.
Hey, Jake, I do the same thing in Israel when I see anybody wearing a college shirt. I see somebody with, like, Oklahoma, I'll go over and go Boomer Sooner. If I see Auburn, I'll say War Eagle, things like that.
Nice.
And especially if I'm, like, in my Jewish gear or a talit and things like that, they love it. And then they're shocked. It's hilarious. So I definitely hear that. I know this is going to be an unpopular take. What do you think of the rivalry jerseys and if they should incorporate a white one as well for the road?
I don't like it. I think the it's not the Jets colors. I mean, they got killed in them when they wore it last year against the Dolphins. I didn't like them. I much prefer the Jets, if they're going to do any sort of like alternate jersey to their current jerseys, they wear the throwback, Parcells, Pennington, Vinny T era style jerseys that used to be their primaries for all those years.
I just wish these rivalry ones are the ones they used during the Jamal Adams, Aaron Gase era, as opposed to the crap that they created then.
Those were just grotesque. I don't think any Jet fan is going to be clamoring for those to come back.
Yeah, but both in terms of style and in terms of memories.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Might want to bring back the Rich Kotite era jerseys as well while we're at it.
Those at least looked pretty cool with like the black stripe on
the
on
Kelly
those.
green.
Like this, I think is a cool jersey, the Keyshawn rookie year jersey, and like Corbett wore this in '96 as well. I like these jerseys. If the Jets ever brought these back for a game, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I have one of those with my name on it. I bought a number 7, and I took it to a place in Sheepshead Bay where they heat stamped my name on it.
Yeah, these are cool. I'd have no problem they wore these for a game.
Yeah, but that was an upgrade on what they had in the 80s, so it at least felt like a modernized version of an older jersey, as opposed to just that grotesque creation that they had during Gase.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that one.
Right. Apparently, there was one that they vetoed beforehand. I think it was Uniwatch came out with an article about it, but it was behind a paywall, so I didn't see it. Apparently, there was one that was even worse that they had to be talked out of.
Didn't know that. Interesting.
Anyways, you mentioned before Jets versus Isles. I mean, in my mind, the Isles have the goalie, which is the most important position on the ice, and they have a cornerstone player. Two things that I think the Jets are missing. We have wonderful players, but we don't have that franchise player, and we don't have the quarterback.
This is true.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said Islanders too. Good point on Sorokin too. Having a good goalie matters.
All right, guys, keep it up. And Chef Kev, sending you condolences, man. Wishing you long life, much life to your years and many years to your life.
Well said, Jason. Good call there. Oh, wow. We got a membership explosion here. Mimosa in the house. We will officially be having a raffle at the end of this show for a Knicks and/or Jets jersey. Mimosa in for 20. Hit it.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
It might be hot as hell outside, but on this show, it is raining channel memberships. Mimosa in the raffle for 20 entries. Here we go. 20 names to read off. Rick Kent. I can't say that whole name. Come on. Who made their name that? Ant, RCJN, Jim Tangy, Hitman Rocket, Bomani UFG, One Sweet Jets, TM The Mod, TLA, Coach Drunk Chris Curtis, Invaders In, Allison Tuckwa, Vizzy B, Eric Gu, Oregon Stacker, K Chiefs, Wembenyama's a dirtbag, Damon Benetti, Matthew Aventry Wilson, Alan Isla WXM, and God Bless America 15, all receiving a gifted membership. We got one more from Ozzy. He gifted a membership. Good job, Ozzy. And that went to Beastbreaker is a communist. So 21 new channel members just like that, including 20 there from Mimosa, who is an absolute legend. Matt, I'm going to let you run. I appreciate you hopping on and giving us an outstanding conversation on a Thursday in July when, let's be real, a little slow right now to be talking Jets football.
It is a little slow, but always a fun time coming on the Jake Asman Show and hanging out. Thanks for having me, Jake. Appreciate it.
You're the man, Matt. Matt O'Leary, NY on YouTube. Come meet Matt, Larry Johnson, Wayne Corbett, all in one spot at Gang Green Beach Club, which is coming up on July 11th. That's right. It is so soon, and it's going to be an awesome day in Atlantic City. So if you're on the fence about making the trip, do it. Have a blast. I know we're going to have an absolute great time all together. So be a part of it. Again, ganggreenbeachclub.com to get your ticket.
Let's go.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Last chance to get in on the show today. Again, only doing one live Jake Asman show. We have the Jets Collective at 1 Eastern today. So check that out. And then I'm doing morning radio from 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow. So could really use some calls from the Asmaniacs. If I recognize your name on hold, we'll bump you to the front of the line. Ladies and gentlemen, right now there's only one man on hold. Many are saying that he's a communist. He denies the allegations. We're going to go right to the source and find out what's real and what's not.
I got gas right now.
Beast, can you move your Degree deodorant away from your camera so we could see you? Beast,
I'm not trying to yell today.
why are you blocking us?
I'm not blocking. I'm just trying to cool off.
Well, we can't see you.
Yeah, well, I'm lucky I didn't use this yet, except for the morning when I took put it under my arm, going.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do with deodorant? Use it on your smelly armpits?
Hey, I'm the only guy who shaves his armpits. In high school, you
shave your armpits?
Yeah, because people used to call me Pits. I was so fucking pissed, and you know what? I said, you know what? All right, fine. You want me to shave them? I'll do it. That's why I'm thinking of shaving my god. That's why I shave my goddamn body here. That's why I shave my pits. That's why I want to stay fresh and clean. Instead of looking like some, what, Tarzan?
Why did they call you Pits?
Because I used to stink.
Well, that's why you use deodorant. You don't need to shave your armpits.
Yeah, well, I like sticking to my plan, and it's working like a charm.
Is it?
I'm right now. I'm reading the weather report right now because a lot of things are a little quonky or quaky. We got goofy weather coming, and the heat will drive you freaking nuts. And how was your day at that press conference? Did you get any autographs or anything, or did you have to make a speech?
It was a conference, not a press conference.
Oh, never mind. And then never mind. But my mind's in a different place right now. I got enough personal problems right now that are way too personal that I'm not gonna air. I got my own dirty laundry to go take care of.
It was a great conference.
Well, you must have. Did you run into anybody unfamiliar?
Yes, I met Appy, the ESPN mascot.
Appy. Never heard of that name. I'm not familiar with that name. I've seen the Phillies mascot. I've seen the big sausage in Milwaukee. I've seen the let's see, the Blue Jay with his little maple leaf. That's fine. I'm like, well, that's great. That's good. No, that's great. When are we ever gonna get a mascot? That's a question that bothered me. When
Take
we
a
ever
look.
gonna get
This
one?
is Appy, the ESPN mascot.
No. The New York Jets. When are they gonna get a mascot?
Do you want to do it?
Yeah. If my lower back would start going out on me, because let's look at it this way. I've lifted hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things. Boxes, crates, even a box spring bed. Move, help someone move. That's a lot of work. That's a real pain. That's the real test. That'll put you to the test. And I'll tell you, endurance is a key, but in life, stamina is where all it hurts. And you guys are doing great. The Red Sox are choking chicken. The Mets are still stinking up the ginkin, and they're still not producing. But that's fine because we got about another 72 more days. Football season begins.
Hey, how often do you shave your pits?
1 to 2 weeks. Once it gets to a point, I do. Hey, it's better that way because I like it that way. And plus, you stay clean. You don't want me smelling like what, Tarzan going. Oh.
So once you started shaving your pits, they didn't call you Pits anymore?
Nope. I just said, whoa! Hey! I'm gonna say this one more time to Mr. Reynolds.
Calm your freaking down.
Yeah, I sound like John Lithgow from Harry and the Hendersons. Unfortunately, Bigfoot's not right behind me. Going.
Candyman in the raffle for 2 says, "Don't let go of the rope, Pitts."
Hey, worry about your own armpits. You want some good deodorant? Get this. Bang!
No, use Mando deodorant.
I love my degree. I like my Brute. You remember Brute? Yeah, Brute from the 90s. All you gotta do is little Brute, or you get some Old Spice. Old Spices ain't that bad either. As long as it's gel and you're going.
Dave Brigger wants to know, can you back the USA?
If Britain loses to Mexico, okay, but don't count on it.
You can't be rooting for Britain over the United States of America. You're American.
Oh shit.
You have no attachment to Mother England.
Oh shit. You son of a bitch.
Pitts, what are you doing?
Back went down.
Your back went down.
There.
Pitts, do we need to call an ambulance for you?
No, I'll be okay. I just got a little gas.
Pitts? Pitts?
That sucked. That sucked going down. That really sucked going down.
I don't think you had to go down.
Oh, I went down. That was not good going down.
Big fella wants to know, how does your back go down while sitting?
Gas bubble. I get really bad gas. I don't know why I'm getting bad gas, but
I think we know why.
no. That's all due to stress too. Heavy stress. Which I'm gonna have to talk to my doctors and see if I can get my get some stress relievers.
Thunderlips wants to know if you're even going to be able to make it to the Jets Miami game.
Oh. If you could count let me say this, you could bet your sorry ass I ain't gonna go down that easy. You'll have to hit me with the 882nd Airborne, an Army tank, and a couple of heavy missiles to knock my sorry ass down. Shane Douglas wrestled with a fractured cheekbone, a broken arm, and still survived. You ask any of those wrestlers that have survived and still come back for more.
I don't know if you're falling down because of gas. I don't know if you're gonna be able to make it to a Jet tailgate.
Let me ask you this question: how many other guys have hit 60 or some more home runs, still come back from everything and show the whole effing world what they can do? I've done it multiple times.
Where are these home runs? Are there any video of these home runs?
20-some years ago, history was made. History was completed. History was made. I believed in myself. I took it upon myself to do what I had to do. I got tired of being kicked around. What rope are you talking about? This whole team looks like it's shot to shit. Who the hell do you think you are? I am. You ask yourself the questions. How many times you keep getting kicked in the balls and you're asking for more? How many more times you can ask for more blood being spilled onto the battlefield? Not many men ask that question, but I still go. It's gonna take more than that to knock me down.
Bim boom me, bim boom boom ba, bim boom ba, bim boom ba, bim boom me, bim boom ba.
Excellent question from the big fella who says, Beast, name things that don't cause you pain.
I don't want any more stress put on top of me. I already got too much on my plate right now as it is. And it's way, way too personal. and it's gonna be handled one way or the other.
What does that mean?
Oh, you already know the deal. It's called, I'm not
No,
backing
I
down.
don't. Nobody knows
back
the
down
deal.
from a fight.
Nobody understands what you're talking about.
Arizona wants to push me down and kick me in the nuts. Well, there's no saying. You kick me down? Yeah, how about you try knocking me down? Come on, knock me down.
Thunderlip says, Beast, you should be a motivational speaker for people with cancer.
Hey, I take my quotes from the great Rocky Balboa. And when he said that right to Tommy in the crappiest movie ever, that was a good line, saying, you knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down? And
You're aware that Rocky Balboa is a fictional character, correct?
We know that, but I'm
Okay.
saying is that sure, it was an okay movie, but there was some part that, in life, that when you say you want to knock me, you knock him down. Once you try knocking me down, come on and get it. Come on and get it.
Shake and Bake says, Beast, can I get a shout out?
My ass? Come here. Right here. Come here. I'm standing right effing here, and I'm not going anywhere. So if you want to hit me, like Sting once said, I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Come on, take your best shot. Take your best shot. Yeah, just like I thought. Just like I thought.
The chat is taking shots at you.
You know what I do? Ignore it.
Hey, Shake and Bake wants a shout out.
Shake and Bake. That was that food.
There's your shout out.
I've heard of Steak and Shake. Never been there. Never been there before.
Gator writes in, this is the Beast I love. Anger, laughter, gas, physical ailments, personal problems, wrestling and pop culture references, threats to the chat, typical Thursday morning show.
I know what's real and I know what's fantasy. Sure, we got a lot of scary things that are happening in the society. Japan just got hit with a 5.9 earthquake. That sounds pretty scary, doesn't it?
Not really.
Oh, no. This is what people don't really understand when they look at reality. Scientists, yes, we do have scientists in this country that are saying, look at the numbers in our heat. We shouldn't be having heat waves, not like this, not like we're having right now. From last year to this year, you look at the heat waves. The heat waves are way out of freaking control. Those numbers are scary, and they are real. Double-digit numbers, thousands of people dying in Europe.
Yeah, Beast, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
We'll get back to the conversation with Beast plus a couple of callers right after these words from today's sponsor.
Are you tired of grilling outdoors? Are you tired of having to go to the kitchen to cook? Thanks to Beast's ultimate taste tool, my troubles are over. Sure, it's a little smoky, but who cares? Look, I even got a bucket to shit in so I never have to leave my room. Now you're cooking with butt.
Ladies and gentlemen, last call to get in on the show, the raffle, the whole thing. We say hello right now to this man.
Oh man, what's up, Asmaniacs? How you guys doing today? So I have a couple points to talk about. So the Yankees, they're on their usual collapse like usual, Jake. And then for the Jets, for my Jets point, training camp is coming up. So, if you're looking for another place to do a meetup, Bruno's is a very good place. And right off Morrisville's, one of my boys there is a server. So we got to get into, if you're trying to do a meetup, Jake, good Italian restaurant, very good food. My boy's a server there. So if you're trying to get any Asmaniacs in the North Jersey area after a training camp practice, Bruno's is a good suggestion. What's your thoughts on that, Jake?
Cloverleaf Tavern, Chef Kevin's restaurant. That's where the training camp meetup will be for this year.
That's true. That's true. But let's honestly, Jake, are going to any training camp practices? Because honestly, we do need to focus on training camp. We do have the preseason.
Yes, I will be going to the training camp practice after the I will go into the training camp practice before whenever the date is for the Chef Kevin training camp meetup.
Probably the green. You're talking about the green and white scrimmage. Remember, like when the Jets used to green, bro. The Jets need to go back to their days of doing the green and white MetLife, bro. I remember when they used to do it at MetLife. Oh my god, it was so fun. And then the Mets are garbage like usual. They're like throw up. They're like, throw up, terrible. Even without David Stearns should get fired. How to construct a team? You got rid of Alonso. You couldn't even pay him like $35 million. You got Juan Soto, and you're wasting all this Juan Soto's prime because you're just a shitty baseball organization. Honestly, for the Nets, who even supports the Nets? Gary does, but is Gary on the line? Because he should just switch to be a Knicks fan because the Knicks are just the best.
Beast also is on the line, and he's not someone you want to mess with today, Mad Max.
Ooh. Beast is probably just talking about the future. And the future is we're going to get our quarterback. We're going to get a new head coach. Aaron Glenn's going to get fired. And, we're going to turn around this team. We're going to make the playoffs. That's the future is going to be.
Man, Max, are you coming to our event on July 11th?
Let's see, Jake. I got to look at the Why? You saw 2 free tickets. You trying to get 2 free?
I will get you a ticket for you and a guest if you want to join us.
I would definitely love to get a ticket for the guest. Maybe my dad would want to come. We'll get a little guest, and then that'll be fun. And then
you have to let me know if you're coming or not.
Okay, sounds good. But who says? That's in.
Also, Beast wrote in. You just don't get it.
Beast Burger should just get on the line. Beast should just get on the line, honestly, because he could be talking about the future. We need something at the Jets. I want to get Beast's thoughts on the train camp and preseason. Let's get Beast's thoughts on it.
Do you think you're more of a man's man than Beast?
I'm much more of a man because look at Beast. You got to be a man, Look at my muscles. I have big muscles. My diet. I don't eat Oreos for breakfast. I actually have healthy foods. I'm very healthy.
What did you have for breakfast today?
Then I'll have breakfast. I usually eat cereal for breakfast, or I'll have eggs sometimes. I mainly have cereal. Lunch, I'll have either pasta, or have chicken, and then dinner is usually meat. A lot.
He just called you a weak-minded moron.
Beast is just not in my league, honestly. He's not in my league.
Beast?
You are so brain dead and so.
Hey, put your camera on, Beast. We can't see you. Can't see you. No camera, no conversation.
Look, clunkhead. Do you read English or are you just plain stupid?
I read English all the time, Beast. Come on. You need to take a joke. Take a joke. Stop taking everything so serious, Beast. Honestly.
Kid, why don't you stop riding my nutsack and go find another opponent to work with?
Because we can find Gary over the Nets.
Idiot.
Come on, Gary's just
jealous. You don't know anything about the system. You don't know nothing about the system these days. It's just you new generationers think you have everything going your way with your little Androids, your iPhones, your tablets. We didn't have that. We had those long stretch cord phones, nice little big TVs, real reality, people playing basketball. Oh, instead of you sitting on your phone going, Let's look at it numbers wise. I paid my fair share. You've only just begun. Just remember, I'm right here. That's global status. You're just right here.
Beast, I'm on top of the human skyscraper.
For a real small public school, Mrs. Gump. I think you need something special in your life, Mrs. Gump.
Yeah, Beast. What are your thoughts on the preseason? What are your thoughts on the preseason so far? Like, what do you think of the opponents? Tampa, Pittsburgh, and then we have the Giants.
I already did my official final research. I already did my research. You're a day late, $1 short.
What do you think of the Tampa game?
I like certain people. Gary Bussey, Sam Kinison, Ronnie Dangerfield.
I have a Jets question. I have a Jets question for you, Beast. What do you think the Jets record is going to be this season?
You'll ever be, pal. And let me say, in a fight, if you think of fighting me, you'll be whipped and destroyed. I was taken to school. So hey, let me give you a little example. I went to the school of Hard Knocks. I play by my own rules, and just because I gotta go take a shit right now.
What do you think is the Jets' final record this season?
Let's play the examples. this is a weapon of terror. Your plumbing supplies. You have no pipes. You have no plumbing supplies besides those teeny weeny little pipes. You have no pipes, pal. Those are clogged pipes.
Beast, what do you think about the current weather in Thailand? What do you think the current weather is going to be in Thailand?
Right now, as it speaks, right now we've had already several earthquakes hit certain areas. Venezuela's already got knocked on their ass. Japan's got knocked on their ass. Oh, you didn't think I could hit you right between the shoulder blades and the Happy Meals, did you? Well, for your information, Sonny, you have a lot to learn about life, and until you can learn about life, go get an education.
I do not like this loser behind me. I find it disgusting. I'm a straight conservative Republican. I like women.
I would kick your ass if you thought of doing that shit. I would knock you right out.
Bro, Beast, look at us in the shrimp cocktail. That's gonna be us next week at the beach club.
Kick your ass so bad, I will make you look like a warthog on
Beast,
your bed.
look at us being shrimp cocktails. Look at this.
First of all, you're living up in a fantasy world because.
Look at us having shrimp cocktails. Like, come on. That's going to be us at the beach club. You know, we're going to have a little pool. We're going to have like a little bit of shrimp cocktails.
I'm sorry. Your fantasies are fake and fraudulent and phony as regurgitated shit.
Look at us at the beach club. Look at us at the beach club.
I would take two heads and crack them into one. Because you know what? Two heads are better than one. And I'll tell you.
Where's Gary on this line?
Then go kiss him.
I can't imagine why my wife.
Go kiss his ass then. Since you're in love with the man, why don't you go kiss his ass, suck his ass, and do what you want to do it best with his ass?
Where's Gary? Is he on the line? I want to get Gary.
Go kiss him then.
We'll get the speeder competition. I think I'll be number one in the speed up. I think I'll be number one in the speeder competition.
Do you read English? I don't think you do. You're basically low IQ, very very sad talent, very sad minded, and you know what? You all can make your fake.
Look at that tattoo. That looks badass, Max.
For all you fakers who make pictures because you have your AIs and your little woo-woos. Well, let me tell you something. I got more balls than you because I could do the Andrew Dice Man myself. And let me say this for you. So maybe you get a bigger understanding of this. Little Bo Peep, fuck the sheep, blew a horsey right through his feet. She ate his ass so very nice, tongued his Happy Meal not just once but twice. Ooh.
Look at that! Look at us having the Grey Goose. Look at me! Look at me shoving you the Grey Goose on the house.
Come on, hot shot. First of all, I don't drink, asshole.
Me neither. I don't drink.
I stopped drinking a long time ago. I got a horrible heart condition because of what I've done for years. So get used to it, kid. Why don't you go drink that shit yourself? I'm sorry, I don't believe in shit like this. You want to believe shit like that? That's your business. That's your business. I'm just like Joe Pesci. Get this through your head. You only exist because of me. Let me tell you, don't you ever go over my head again, you slime ball.
Are watching this. How do you other Jets content guys feel about that when they talk Jets? Only get 13 people watching. Everyone just hates Jake Asman because we get like all these characters. Like, come on, they can talk about Jets and they can have their little heads over their ass because they're going to defend Aaron Glenn. I have a question. What does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? He doesn't do anything good. But let's re-engage. Let's see. Let's get. Want to get Kyle Clifton on this show? Oh, Kyle Clifton, what are your predictions for the Jets this season? What's like your record prediction? What do you think it's going to look like?
I'm going to channel my best Mr. T. My prediction
Yeah,
is pain. It's pain.
What do you think it's going to be? What do you,
Seven
how many,
wins. Seven wins.
And I have a question. Do you think Aaron Glenn's going to get fired by the end of the season? Like, do you think he's going to get fired?
I think that there's a better chance than not, yes.
I think he's going to get fired. I don't think he's a good coach. Any Jets truther, I got a little powwow in with Ricky.
You got your wish, Mad Max. Kyle Clifton has appeared. Hello, Kyle. You're today's closer.
Oh, nice. I see you sporting the jersey.
The Pulisic jersey, baby. True Jet fan, that Christian Pulisic.
That's right. I've only ever pulled the red card in Uno, and I didn't get too upset about it, but apparently this is much, much worse as someone who's not really indoctrinated in soccer.
What a ridiculous call.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to have a lot of eyeballs for Belgium, so it should be fun. When does that game go off? Do we know?
Monday night in Seattle, baby. Monday Night Football in Seattle. It usually bodes well for the home team.
Of a sort, right? Monday Night Football. Very nice. I just want to kind of chime in. Like a lot of moves in the NBA. Knicks kind of standing pat and losing some depth on the front line. Some rumors about some guys I'm not too familiar with, because I'm not following the league on a night-to-night basis. I'll check it in on the next couple of times during the regular season, and definitely I'll watch during the playoffs. But I would think that if you're defending a championship, losing some of that depth would be a cause for concern. Because I kind of liked what I saw out of Huck Porty on a limited basis. And, it might well have been time to move on from Mitch. We know that he's had kind of a checkered injury past. But to lose him to the Celtics, that's adding insult to injury. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, I think they've been able to keep most of the guys you wanted them to keep besides Mitch. I'm not going to flip out over Huck Porty. I think he's a third string center. I think they could find a better backup to Karl Anthony Towns at that position. I trust Leon Rose there. I love the Alvarado deal. I think they got great value. If you look at some of the other contracts that have been given out on Landry Shamet, he turned down more money, I think, for more guaranteed years. So the Knicks were able to get something done with him. And I still think you look at the moves made around the league, like Boston's not as good now, and they were thought to be the biggest threat. They had better odds to win the title than the Knicks did at the start of the offseason, which is ridiculous. Philly, they're better, but I don't trust Embiid's health. I got to see it to truly believe it. I think the Knicks are okay. I trust Leon Rose to find someone either in the buyout market to be the backup center, or they'll make a trade for someone. Maybe they flip Deuce McBride, who will be a free agent at the end of next year, to get a backup big that is under team control. I could see something like that.
Yeah, that was my next question about Deuce. Whether we thought a move for him might be in the offing. I saw that Aaron Judge was taking the Yankees to task.
About time. Someone should.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to kind of do that leadership from the bench. It looks like they're getting some reinforcements this week before the break. So I think that they might be getting some outfielders back and some infielders back this week. So, and then it's I think no news is good news on Gino. If he can keep his nose clean, we have a puncher's chance to be playing meaningful games in November, which is just a poor state of the franchise. That's what we're begging for.
The season not over before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I just wanted to call and touch base because I haven't really been able to call it much. I'm guessing you're probably on the radio today.
I'm on the radio tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., Kyle. So feel free to call in July 4th weekend, and then got some radio stuff next week as well. So a lot of radio coming up in July.
Fantastic. Couldn't be happier. I'll talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Kyle Clifton checking in. By the way, here's some images of Christian Pulisic proving his Jet fandom. He was asked when he was playing for Chelsea. He did like a Q&A for their Instagram, favorite NFL team, and tagged the Jets. And then when the Jets played in London in 21, against the Falcons, him and Zach Wilson linked up before the game. Back when we thought, hey, we have our quarterback. Believe. So he's a Jet fan. All right, I'm almost set for the raffle. I'm concerned about Beast, though. Is he going to be able to send us to the Wheel of Champions, or is his gas/back pains going to be too much to handle? Tyrone checks in. He's in the raffle for 4. Thank you, Tyrone. He says, I hope we have a good year. The team looks good enough to keep it interesting. Go Jets. Again, the bare minimum is keep it interesting. We're not asking for much. My God. But I agree with you, Tyrone. Give him a Jet chant for that. This does not need to be some, we're asking for too much for them to be 4-4 through 8. We're not. Look at the schedule. There's winnable games. Win the games. That's what teams around the league do every year besides the Jets. It's unbelievable. Tyrone, again, thank you for your super chat. All right, I'm counting all the raffle names. I'm going to check in with the master of raffle ceremony. If he can't do it, Mad Max has already messaged that he's willing to send us to the Wheel of Champions. So we're going to find out all together whether or not this man has what it takes to send us to a place of eternal glory.
Does anybody want a nutty buddy?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Go to Raven. Are we ready?
Not yet. Are you ready, or is your back okay? You're going to be able to do this for us?
Let's go. Let's go.
You can do it?
Let's go. Do it.
You believe in yourself? What about the back pain?
As the gatekeeper from Nightmare once said, the cards are on the table. I'm raising the bet, and we're going to play a game of poker. Take the top card from the Nightmare pack. If it's your fear, you lose all your keys. You're going to lose anyway. But if it's not, return it to the back of the pack, and you can collect all the remaining keys.
Okay, so that means you are ready.
Thumbs up, baby. Hi, Spa. Hi, Spa.
Okay.
Hi, Spa.
That's good news.
Hi, Spa.
I'm going to come back to you in a moment because I have a final super chat to get into here. From Oregon Jets, he's in for 2. Dante saves the franchise in 2027. Hold your nose. The head coach is a complete poop bag. I don't know if Dante Moore will save the Jet franchise. If he does, I'm certainly going to be on board with it. We'll see what type of year he has, right? I think he took a big risk going back to school. And we'll see if the Jets are in position to even draft him, or if there's teams in front of the Jets, or he doesn't have as good of a year and he slides. Like, you just don't know. But I hope you're right, Oregon Jets, because we know you're Mr. Oregon. Robin, possibly our last entry into the raffle. He is in for 1. Thank you, Robin.
Let's go!
Abraham Bruno, you're the recipient of Robin's generosity. You're now a channel member. All right. On that note, let's get ready to spin the Wheel of Champions. We're raffling away a Jets Legends jersey or a Knicks Finals jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, the master of raffle ceremony is on the line.
Ow! Hey, hit my teeth. Oh, well. Raven, ready to tell you. Girls, bring me that Wheel of Champions wheel. We're going to get a winner, aren't we? Yeah, you know why? Quote the Raven, nevermore. Now we're going to spin this wheel. Quote the Raven, nevermore. Let's get a winner.
Thanks, Lord ass.
It's time for that daily Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Hasman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, yeah. Excellent job, Beast. That's a man's man right there, folks. Here we go. We have a total of 35 names on the wheel. If you are the winner, to claim your prize, you email me, asmanjake@gmail.com, what you want. Knicks jersey, Jets jersey, player you want, size you want, name and address, and we'll get it sent out to you over the holiday weekend. All right. Here we go. One spin to determine a winner. Everyone who entered during the show is, of course, in our weekly raffle, which we're going to push to early next week because of the holiday weekend. Here we go. The winner is the man who just called Aaron Glenn a poop bag. Oregon Jets is the winner of the Asmaniac raffle. Oregon Jets. The choice of a Knicks or Jets jersey is yours. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Congrats again to Oregon Jets. Big shout out to all the callers. Couldn't do it without you. We are live today at 1 p.m. for the latest Jets Collective podcast. So check that out. Tomorrow morning, I'm doing a 4-hour radio show on ESPN New York. And then Nick Shine's going to come on for a Friday show. We'll do one show on a Friday into the holiday weekend tomorrow. So still giving you guys as much content as anyone out there, even with a very slow, as we all know, news cycle going on right now. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. Wouldn't be able to do the show year-round without your daily support. Hopefully you tune in to the Collective podcast this afternoon. I know we have a great show planned. Until then, I'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy a nice moment in Asmaniac history on your way out of here. Like the video, subscribe to the show, and as always, go Jets.
I caught a little bed bite. I got something to get rid of them. A little spray and a little bit of salt.
You got a bed bug bite?
Yeah, in the leg, but I'm not going to worry.
Do you have bed bugs?
No, I keep my floors. My floors are always fresh, and I also do a little.
What about your bed, though? Are there bed bugs on your bed?
No, I checked it yesterday.
Those can be very problematic.
Beast, you said you're using salt to combat bed bugs?
Oh, heavy salt. That's the best way to get rid of them. You know why? They don't like that stuff. Well, you know what? I don't care.
All right.
What's the plan with the salt? Are you just going to like sprinkle it on the bed? How does this work?
I'm going to put it all around the floor slowly. Then I'm going to put some under the mattress.
I really don't think salt is the way to go.
This is the saddest of the saddest. I don't know what the hell you all are smoking, but this is a load of crapola.
Marcelino McCrary Dill.
All right. Me? Just hanging around.
Face the other direction.
So you see my ass?
Exactly.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Huh? You guys win.
Alex says Charles was better. I forgot we got Gorman to do that too.
Gorman didn't use his legs.
Oh.
I'm reading the comments. They're all positive.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.